Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we will discuss one more important question of electromagnetic induction, that is self induction. Self induction kath chh vanan. First of all, we will try to define self induction. Self induction. When a current flows in a coil, agar a current flow gets in a coil, you know that in previous classes, to pormut pötmis class mans yel current gets flow kuni coil mans ach gasan andin produce magnetic field. Yel magnetic field gets produced, that means magnetic flux. When it produces a magnetic field, it gives rise to magnetic flux through the coil. Magar agar is as the strength of the current changes, you see current image pakan ch. अगर ये फ्लक्चुएट करो अगर ये चेंज करो स्ट्रेंथ करो चेंज यस मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स ओस अत कॉइल मज प्रोड्यूस गोमुत यह गि चेंज मगर तुह पोर्मुत अगर चेंजिंग मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स क्या कर प्रोड्यूस EMF तमुक मर अगर कह कॉइल अगर सपोज यह कॉइल इट इज अ कॉइल सपोज करंट इज फ्लोइंग थ्रू कॉइल ये करंट गस फ्लो कॉइल मज सपोज करंट फ्लोज थ्रू दिस कॉइल yel current is flow it gives rise to magnetic flux yeh is andin karan produce magnetic field, that means that magnetic field gets produced then gets magnetic flux that's produced magar achi dapan agar is current chi nimis pass gasan if it is changing, if the strength of the current changes, if the magnitude of the current changes, you see magnetic flux yapar chi yeh gets changed मगर तुह पारान दोयमिस चैप्टरस मज पूरा इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक इंडक्शन मज दपान चेंजिंग मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स हसा प्रोड्यूस करान EMF इलेक्ट्रोमोटिव फोर्स ये EMF करान प्रोड्यूस सह करान इंड्यूस करंट दैट मीन्स the change in strength of the current is responsible for producing the changing magnetic flux. That changing magnetic flux producing is producing opposing opposite EMF. ये प्रोड्यूस कर EMF मगर opposite EMF opposite EMF प्रोड्यूस तेल गस current and induced current and induced when EMF is produced then induced current is produced opposing current. That means it is called self-induced EMF or back EMF. That means self-induced EMF and back EMF क्या गो अगर शॉर्ट टर्मन मज वनो यह हसा गो अगर डेफिनेशन लिखो पत कर बे एक्सप्लेन करने कोशिश सेल्फ इंडक्शन हसा गई तेल is the phenomena of production of producing production of induced EMF. Induced EMF or induced EMF can produce induced in a coil. When a changing current passes through it. तमुक मतलब गो अगर निम कॉइल मज चेंजिंग करंट गस पास यह कर प्रोड्यूस अपोजिट EMF. दैट अपोजिट EMF इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर अपोजिट करंट अच वना दिस कॉल्ड सेल्फ इंडक्शन. सेल्फ इंडक्शन मतलब गो पान कर कॉइल फ्लक्चुएट करंट तम फ्लक्चुएट कर सान मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स लिंक सह गसान चेंज तम चेंज ऑटोमेटिकली प्रोड्यूस इंड्यूस्ड EMF. Induced EMF such gets produce induced current but which is opposing this cause. As per Lenzi law ये gets tipper produce कि it is opposite the cause which produces it. That means जब current flow गसान च it's big side. That means अगर current gets increase हो कर decrease करने कोशिश अगर वो decrease गस हो कर increase करने कोशिश. This is called self induction. I hope you have got it. That means self induction is the phenomenon of production of opposing induced EMF. Induced opposing EMF in a coil when changing current passing through it. Agar current changing current gets pass, but there is a condition current should fluctuate. Use current pass gets fluctuate. Till gets EMF produce EMF सहित गژھِ produce किछु ना अख current युस अथ oppose करان आसि तथ वनान self induction पाने करन coil produce पान से करन coil को तथ वनान self induction तवे ये coil छ fluctuate करन पाने current इन fluctuate करन से produce गसन क्या ये induced EMF तम सहित गसन produce induced current suppose बह दिमो तुम मिसाल अख suppose I take a battery here battery छु पाई battery छ this is the battery suppose this is battery here athab yatas key te a closing switch thaw switch ya switch thaw open close switch ya closing switch ya open right you go closing switches symbol suppose here this is the suppose induced current ये आव वुचने suppose this is the battery current flows in this direction yeli battery current को suppose battery and a tapping switch connected in series with a coil as the switch is closed yeli switch karbo closed ये switch karbo closed atas okay the current increases current gasa increase at yeli switch current current increase and the magnetic flux through the yeli current gets increase magnetic flux gets increase okay through the coil increase from 0 to maximum क्या switch closing switch from 0 पे गसा increase to maximum value okay and induced current flows yeli EMF gets change that means EMF is developed here it develops and yeli magnetic current gets change imside gets develop क्या magnetic flux linked with the coil changes and that is responsible production of induced EMF so gets induced EMF tim sat gets current produce the current as gets produce induced current या पर गसा produce induced current because यहाँ current जो इसकी current है coil की current भी it increase from 0 to maximum by closing the switch that means this is responsible for production of induced EMF here how induced EMF is produced because changing current passes through the coil that produced an induced EMF produced an induced current but in the opposite direction अगर बह यह coil निमन यह कर काम that means current flows in this direction when current increases yes induced current self induction सहित गसान produce सह करान yes induced current flows in the opposite direction okay this is as we say that अगर अस यह निमोन यह closing switch अगर बह निमोन open switch अगर यह switch निमोन ये open यह करो open है suppose switch था बह यल्लै वुनकस current गस flow इमस from ये switch कोर मे opening switch hose close switch you can open switch when switch is opened here the tapping which opens the current hence here the induced current flows in the opposite direction of that battery and the tapping switch is opened the current and hence magnetic flux through the coil decreases from maximum value it can decrease its current when current decreases from maximum value तो मैं यूँ से नीम induced EMF या से कर produce बे current मगर इकर या पर suppose this is induced current या से कर current that means when current flows from 0 to maximum induced current is developed in the opposite direction when current flows from maximum to minimum induced current is developed in the reverse direction this is the battery here you know this is the example of a self induction को कशर पट वनो अगर कुन coil मज current आस fluctuate गसान तम fluctuate करन सहित develop गसान changing magnetic flux produce करा induced EMF सह करा hence produce induced current मगर in such a direction यपर हु current flow आस करान अगर ये from maximum to minimum आस करा हु गस in the reverse direction अगर to minimum to maximum हु कर increase होत हु कर decrease होत okay आपको समझ आ गया that means current always flows in the induced current always flows in the reverse direction as per Lenz's law okay I hope you have got this now हमें कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ सेल्फ इंडक्शन वो सेल्फ इंडक्शन आपको समझ आ गया कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ सेल्फ इंडक्शन किससे कहते हैं कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ सेल्फ इंडक्शन कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ सेल्फ इंडक्शन ठीक है कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ एट एनी सपोज at any instant the magnetic flux linked with the coil is proportional to the current the current gets flow fluctuate magnetic flux gets to that means mathematically we can write phi that means magnetic flux is directly linked with the current or we can say phi is equal to Li, where L is the constant of the given coil and is called this is called self inductance. This is called self inductance, or simply say some books write, or simply inductance. That is called L is called self inductance or simply inductance. Some books write inductance. Some book it is also called coefficient of self induction. Some books say right it is also called coefficient of self induction. Coefficient of self induction. This is called self inductance or inductance or coefficient of self inductance. As any change in the current setup, जो current change हो गई, it produce an induced EMF. As per Faraday's law of second law, EMF कोता है गसन, EMF is equal to minus d phi by dt. ये आपने already पढ़ा है, d phi by dt, induced EMF. As the current changes, induced EMF is developed. How that is developed? E is equal to minus d phi by dt. You know that this negative sign because of Lenz's law. That means this opposite. This is it gives us a direction. E is equal to, what is the value of phi? Li minus d by dt L Li. Here L is constant, हम इसको बाहर निकालेंगे. E is equal to minus L di by dt. That means जो फ्लक्स है at any kind of sort of induced EMF है ये किसके बराबर है? Minus L di by dt. That means self inductance of a coil. जो self if ultimately we got this E is equal to minus L di by dt. Okay, di by dt. एक इक्वेशन हमें ये ऊपर है, phi is equal to Li. This equation first. This equation second. If in equation first, अगर I unit current 1, अगर I 1 हो तो then which implies, इसका मतलब क्या होगा? फ्लक्स किससे बराबर है? L. That means thus we can say the self inductance of the self, yeah, coefficient of self inductance of a coil is numerically equal to the magnetic flux linked with the coil when a unit current passes through it. When unit current passes through it. That means in equation if I is equal to 1, यहाँ phi किसके बराबर है? L. That means phi, that means self inductance L of a coil is numerically equal to the magnetic flux linked with the coil. मगर जब when unit current passes through it. ये simple है, when unit current passes through it. I hope you have got it. Inshallah we will meet in the next class. Thank you very much.